Open relationship turned into cheating, has broken me. I don't know why I'm staying. My wife and I had decided to open up our relationship about a month ago, after she had said that someone of interest had reached out to her. I was initially okay with it but asked that we communicate our respective boundaries and that we end things with the person if either of us was feeling like it was hurting our marriage. What happened shortly afterwards was that she had new relationship energy pretty intensely. She would be texting him non-stop. She made plans to go to the farmer's market with him at one point, on a Saturday. I had agreed to watch our kid. But then she asked if she could go to the bar with him on a Tuesday, so I said, sure. That's a lot in 1 week though, can you please make sure to spend some time with me? She agreed to giving me a special day and off she went. She came back and told me the story, she had made out with him but nothing more. I was okay with that. But then she asked me, can I please stay at his apartment on Friday? I told her no, that I wasn't comfortable with that yet, but may be open to it in the future. She was furious about it, said I wasn't being reasonable, that she could trust me. And I tried to tell her, look, I do trust you, but I do not want to be up late into the night wondering what my wife is up to while watching a 2-year-old. Please respect that. She kept begging and pleading, and I finally relented under a few conditions. She texts me when she's about to go to bed to provide me an update, she texts me in the morning, and she be home by 1 p.m. I felt so uneasy about it and said that I didn't like that she was pressing so hard on these things, but she said that it would be okay and she'd make it up to me for doing this for her. The night of the event, she goes over. Texts me at night. Okay, cool. Texts me in the morning. Apparently, they had gotten into a huge fight last night, and had been spending the night and morning basically arguing, making out, and her getting fingered. She tried to fuck him but he wouldn't for some religious hang-up reason. She was super upset, so I asked her if she wanted to come home, to have me pick her up. She said no, that they were working things out, and that she'd be home by 1 p.m. Okay, I believe you. 12:30 p.m. rolls around. I check her location, it's a 15-minute drive home. No worries. 12:45 p.m. rolls around. I check her location again, still at his apartment. I text her, hey, is something up? Do you need me to come pick you up? No response until 12:58 p.m. I'm so sorry, his car battery is acting up. Okay, you didn't think to tell me? Well, I'm sorry, my mom was blowing up my phone wondering why I wasn't at the farmer's market, she never went, and we were still arguing and just a lot of stuff. I had told her that I was upset with her, that I would have preferred her communicating this ahead of the timeline, and that I could tell she was stressed, so we should talk about that at a later point. She finally comes home at 1:57 p.m. Comes into my arms and starts crying. It's okay, I still love you, I'm here for you. We talk and then it gets to the point where she just starts getting mad at me. I tell her that I think this is hurting us more than it's helping, we're both starting to get stressed out at home and are clashing heavily. She responds back that she's finding in him some affection and affirmation that I haven't been giving her for the last 2 years. I tell her that I've always found her beautiful and have found her more beautiful with each growing day. She says that it's different, because this is a person that isn't her husband, so the compliment means more, that she can just turn her brain off while she's with him. She just wants this one thing for herself. I get upset, and I tell her, you know what, wife's name, at this point, I'm not even asking you to stop talking to him, I just want to know that you would if I asked you to. At this, she blows up and I just start breaking down and crying. The next morning, Sunday, she's coming back from work. We have a phone call and I tell her, hey, listen. I'm sorry about the fight last night. What I was wanting from you was validation, a reminder that I matter to you and that our marriage matters to you. The conversation starts okay enough, but then it takes a nosedive. She starts telling me that she's mad, she's angry with me, that she doesn't understand why this is such a big deal because she's doing everything right. I tell her that the whole thing is making me feel depressed, useless, that I haven't been eating or even sleeping that whole week. She gets more mad. I tell her outright, wife's name, I don't want to be here anymore. Please. Please, let's just stop fighting. And her response is to become even more furious with me. At this point, I start breaking down hard. Full on tears. I tell her that I don't want to be alive anymore and that I need her to go pick up our kid so I can kill myself. She asks if I'm serious, and I say yes, that I need to just drink a big bottle of pills and die. She hangs up and calls the cops to come rushing up to our apartment, and rushes over to us as well. What ends up happening is that I end up going to a psych ward for a suicide attempt, processed for a good week, put on medication, and working on changes for myself. Eventually, I do take responsibility for my suicide attempt and stop blaming my wife. And I learn to value myself again instead of letting her affect me that much. I come home, and everything is weird. She doesn't know if she wants to be married or not anymore. I tell her that we can have a break phase and that she can still keep talking to the guy. She has apparently been talking to him every single day that I was in the ward, even though she was answering every phone call I sent her. She's still texting him. Still talking to him and having phone calls with him. I tell her how much it hurts me, how it guts me. She says that she's sorry, I just ask her to hide it. At this point, I still love her, but I love myself more. I do not trust her and I do not want to ever let her actions and words affect me to that degree ever again. I tell her that I am open either option moving forward. Either we work on things by going to couples counseling and she stops talking to him entirely, or we call it quits and file for separation. She doesn't know. I'm going to give her until January 1st to decide, but I'm so conflicted and hurt. I don't even know why I'm writing this. It just hurts to have given 5 years of my love and affirmation to someone, to have a child with them, to make a sacred promise to always take care of them, only for them to choose another person over me. Story number 2. Ada for calling off my wedding after my fiancé's surprise gift. So, I, 30F, have been engaged to my fiancé Mark, 32M, for about a year and we've been together for 3 years. I've always known Mark to be a bit unconventional. He's very creative and sometimes takes things a little too far in the name of surprise or excitement. Most of the time, I love his adventurous spirit, but this time, not so much. A couple of weeks ago, we had a small get-together with some close friends to celebrate our upcoming wedding. Mark had mentioned that he had a surprise for me, which I figured would be something sweet, like a heartfelt gift or maybe a romantic gesture. Well, as the night went on, after a few drinks, Mark finally revealed his gift. He pulled out what looked like a box from a special jewelry store. My heart raced with excitement as I assumed it was a lovely bracelet or a special memento for our wedding day. But when he opened the box, I was absolutely stunned. Inside was a key to a house he supposedly bought for us. I was taken aback because I had no idea he was even looking for real estate. My first reaction was one of shock and confusion, as I thought it was a huge decision that we should have discussed together. As I processed the moment, I realized the house wasn't just any house, it was a fixer-upper on the outskirts of town. Now, I get that it can be a great investment, but this particular house needed a ton of work. I'm talking major renovations and repairs, and I honestly had no desire to live there. Mark had not consulted me at all before making this purchase, and I felt blindsided. Normally, I would be overjoyed about investing in our future together, but the fact that he had made such a significant commitment without me crushed me. I quietly took the key and told him we needed to talk about this. As we stepped outside, I expressed how hurt I felt that he had made such a big decision without discussing it with me first and that it felt like a violation of trust. Mark got defensive and insisted that this was a wonderful surprise, a way for us to start our lives together. He said I was missing the bigger picture and that I should be excited about our future. Honestly, I just felt overwhelmed and confused. I told him I didn't think we were ready for this and that we should focus on our wedding first. After a heated argument, I made the gut-wrenching decision to call off the wedding. Mark was devastated, and our friends were shocked. I had just ruined what was supposed to be a happy night, and I felt horrible. Since then, Mark has been trying to reach out, saying he wishes we could talk it over, but I can't shake the feeling that he disrespected my feelings and my input in our relationship. I've been reflecting on whether I overreacted. Ada for calling off the wedding after his surprise gift.